Good evening and welcome. My name is Jolanda Jones. This is my first video blog, and it is inspired by the idiot running for Congress in Illinois named Bayne. The thing that just has my ire going is that Mr. Bayne had the audacity and the arrogance to compare the Dynasty Guy, who's currently on punishment for uttering, or I should say spewing, homophobic comments and also anti-black comments in GQ magazine, with the great civil rights, human rights icon Rosa Parks. As a black person in America, I am offended that Bayne has the nerve to compare the Duck Dynasty Guy, who is clearly racist, to Rosa Parks, who was willing to be arrested and not give up her seat to destroy racism. He is comparing the punishment of the Duck Dynasty Guy with the injustice that Rosa Parks fought for, which, by the way, in case you forgot or don't know your history, black people were subject to lynchings. We were subject to hangings. We were beat. We had honey poured on us where they sicked bees on us. They shot us. They cut off digits. They murdered us. We experienced separate but unequal education. We were denied the right to vote. We were subjected to Jim Crow. We were subjected to so many indignities that are vestiges of slavery. And for Mr. Bayne to compare the Duck Dynasty Guy to Rosa Parks is, inexplicable to me. Let's see, the Duck Dynasty Guy said when he grew up in rural Louisiana, and you'll have to excuse me if I'm chuckling because if it weren't so serious, it'd be funny. But he said that all we black people did is sing in Louisiana as we picked cotton in the fields. And then he compared us to white trash, which the last I heard, whenever people tell white trash jokes, is something to be frowned upon and laughed at, not something that was worthy of equality. So I take great issue with that. So Mr. Bayne is clearly uneducated. He's ignorant at best, stupid and mean-spirited at worst, to take someone who has gone down and will go down in the annals of American history and human rights history with the Duck Dynasty Guy, who's going to be but a blip on our television screens. And while I'm at it, I'd like to talk about my hurt for the anti-gay and homophobic comments that the Duck Dynasty Guy made in GQ magazine. I've had two separate friends' children commit suicide over the issue of homosexuality. One of my friends' children killed himself in the 90s because people teased him because his mom, my friend, and her girlfriend, my friend, were gay. He was 16 years old. His name was Lawrence. Broke my heart then, continues to break my heart. Another of my friends, a husband and wife son, who you've probably heard about him, his name was Asher. He killed himself. He was 13 years old, all because of the bullying that happened to him because people thought that he was gay. That broke my heart. I swore back in the 90s, after Lawrence killed himself, that I would not sit idly by while people defamed and bullied people who were gay, because I could not imagine the pain that Lawrence, that 16-year-old, must have felt to take a gun and blow his brains out, all because people teased him about the love his mom shared for her partner. So shame on the Duck Dynasty Guy for talking about that, and shame on every single solitary Republican politician who's going out and putting this guy on a pedestal, because God forbid your children or your grandchildren be gay. You better love and support them, because God does not make mistakes. Gay people deserve the same rights as straight people. And all I know is that for me to sit silent would be for me to be complicit in the oppression of people based on who they are. This is a human rights struggle. And we need to check people who try to oppress human rights. And let me say this. All this whine and whining by these people who are so upset about the punishment that A&E gave the Duck Dynasty guy. Here's the deal. There are people like me, and there are many of us, who will never watch Duck Dynasty ever again if we ever watched it in the first place, which, by the way, I was not one to ever watch a bunch of rednecks running around doing duck calls. But I'm a person who, if Walmart doesn't do something, I will stop going to Walmart the times that I go to Walmart. There are other people like me who, if A&E didn't take a stand and punish the Duck Dynasty guy, we would have stopped watching A&E. And I promise you this, there are a lot of shows on A&E that I like to watch. But I will boycott an entire network if they allow gay bashing, if they allow racist comments about black people, if they allow anti-Semitic comments, if they allow comments about people that oppress people. And I'm all for the First Amendment. I am a lawyer by profession, and I believe in it. But I also believe that don't be upset, and you need to put on your big girl panties and be prepared for the consequences that happen to you if sponsors decide to punish you for remarks that you make. I, as a consumer, get to choose what stations I watch. I get to choose what products I buy. And just as he has a right to spew his racist and homophobic beliefs, I have a right to push back. I have a right to not remain silent. And just as you want for me to respect your right to say all that crazy stuff that you're saying, you need to respect my right to push back on you. And so, way to go, A&E. And all you people who are whining, I need for you to stop whining. As I said before, put on your big girl panties and just, you know, what you should really do is you should take a step back and you should ask yourself, if my children were gay, or my niece was gay, or my mom or my dad was gay, would I still love them? And I respectfully suggest to you that you should, because as I said before, God does not make mistakes. We are all equal, and instead of oppressing people, we should lift people up. We should help them, and we should help them understand that they are okay. Because the biggest problems with kids today, and with some adults today, is that they don't have good self-love and self-respect, because there are people like the Duck Dynasty guy who sit there and point fingers at them and put them down. And so, way to go, A&E. I commend you for what you did, and the rest of you people need to stop whining. And you need to, again, for the third time, put on your big girl panties and just suck it up. And I would hope that after seeing what happened, that you would reflect and try to be a better person for it. Because there is hope for you, I hope. But in the meantime, I'm going to hope, wish, and pray that the people of Illinois, whoever lives in the congressional district that this Bayne guy is running for, I hope that you don't put him in office, because he is dangerous. He is in a position to oppress gay people. He is in a position to oppress black people. And he is in a position, if he gets elected, to move to higher office. And we are all in trouble if he gets in Congress, because he gets the vote on laws that affect everyone in this country, not just people in his congressional district. So again, this is Jolanda Jones. I hope that you have enjoyed listening to this video blog. I hope to do more, but I've got to be inspired enough by something either really good or something really bad to engage in the discussion, because I think discussion is important. And I hope you all will come away from this blog thinking about being a voice for people, because if you don't stand up, then who will?